Hence, there are no friendly fires, unrest in the streets, unrest in your mind, unrest in the constellations. You were always the restless kind, unrestless, restless heart, with stellar circuitry. There are no accidents. There are no friendly fires. So pull out all the wires. So pull out all the wires. Pull out all the wires. Disobey the future whispers. Only harm the ones who listen. We can stop the oxidation. Disobey the future whispers. Only harm the ones who listen. We can stop the oxidation. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Welcome to another episode of the Bloody Apocalypse. Since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I am that guide. Your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you again. Are you enjoying the dystopian nightmare, literally the apocalypse? I'm not enjoying it. I hate that it's even here. I hate that I have to breathe the same air as degenerates like Donnie Shitbags, Leon Scum, or should I say welfare queen, Leon Scum, and Petey Hegseth. Yeah, why do I gotta be on the same planet as them? Why couldn't I have gone to a special planet with no Leons and no Donnies and no Peteys and all the cunts that are just like them? Doesn't that sound like a good planet? Just leave all those cunts behind. And it ain't about skin color, because we can put George Santos on that island as well. And all the other turncoats of various ethnicities that have decided to go a certain route in life and join up with Satan and betray their people while they're doing it. Anyway, let's get to the fucking shit show, shall we? Starting off with this, what did I just say yesterday? I said by next week, we're going to be flying the Russian flag at the White House. That's going to be our national flag instead of the American flag. I said this last night, and I was just kind of joking around. And then this is the first thing I saw this morning. It's almost like fate or something. And again, I assume this is a doctored picture. And yes, I put it in the post section. Oh, and how could I forget? You'll see the little Russian flags out in front of the White House all over the place. I assume that's a doctored photo, but you never know with Donnie Krasnov in office. You know what I'm saying? Might as well be flying the Russian flag. They ain't hiding the agenda here. They got Vlad's you-know-what all the way up there you-know-what. So, it really doesn't take Inspector fucking Gadget to figure this the fuck out, right? So I assume that's a doctored photo, but I just found it interesting. It's the first thing I saw today, after I just said it last night. And I just happened to have this picture up. I forget why, when I took the screenshot. Isn't he beautiful? Donnie Krasnov. So yeah, that's what I woke up to. And then when I posted this, just like yesterday, when I did my first post of the morning in the post section on YouTube that no one looks at least on my channel anyway. I got a message minutes later or an hour later when I went to go do my next post that something of mine had been taken down for violation of community guidelines. That's 2 days in a row, people, right after I put my first post up on this website. And I really have to ask the question again, why so much attention paid to a guy with 2,000 subs? You've smeared my name, you've ruined my rep, you've defamed me, you've lied about me, you've labeled me so many things that I would sue you for if it weren't the apocalypse. But I don't have time for that. We don't have that many years left, don't worry. So no need to worry about lawsuits anymore. And Vlad got 100 million out of you, so, you know, that's kind of justice for me anyway. Not kinda, that's like a shiv in the kidney to you fucking cunts, actually. That Vlad says, I just take your money. Even though I pay you all these years to put up my propaganda, and you did it like good dogs, I take all my money back plus interest. You don't mind, do you? You might want to move away from that window over there. It looks kind of dangerous. So yeah, that 2 days in a row, I get a message that something of mine has been taken down. They didn't say like what specific community guidelines or what specifically was wrong. Like yesterday, maybe they got a little pissed that I broke it down all for you, that they literally said Nazis were a protected group, and that critique of a Nazi who did a Nazi salute via a meme was hate speech. So maybe they got a little upset about how I broke that all down, and they literally just did an advertisement for Nazis and protecting Nazis via that little exercise we went through yesterday. So today, no details, just something's gone. I hit the thing to review the content because they don't tell you what they took down. I hit the thing, it goes to a blank screen, a YouTube studio thing that I do have the app for, by the way. It kind of had one of my other channel icons on it. I still couldn't see what was taken down. Maybe they're hitting that Pizzagate stuff on the other channel. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's this channel. I couldn't find what they took down, and I'm not allowed to review it or have any recourse. So I don't know what to tell you people. All I can tell you people is here we go again for about the 9th time with the adjudicated criminal Google, where Nikki's just telling the truth here. I'm not the Nazi. I'm not the eugenicist. Literally. They're not hiding this stuff. You all know what they are. All the way up to Mr. Sindar. You know who they are and what they are. So why all the attention? You've ruined my rep, my business, defamed me. You're a criminal now. Adjudicated, proven criminal. Took me down from 10,000 to nothing. Subs. Why so much attention to this guy? I wonder what it is. I don't know, maybe it's that thing I was talking about to the things I say. Not only cut through this realm and all of you cunts that give a shit, cuts through the next one too. That's how dangerous I am. Because I get banned everywhere. And I ain't selling snake oil. And I ain't taking Russian money. In betrayal of my fucking country. Like so many of you cunts on camera out there day after day. And so many of you websites taking the money even to this moment as I speak. Maybe that's why. That's what I think it is. You know, when you get major corporations sending you 666s, how did they do that quickly? Well, I had a Pizzagate series on one of my other channels, or maybe it was this channel. I think it might have been this channel. I can't even remember what's what anymore with all this censorship bullshit. Shady bullshit. They took the first one down May 6th. They took the second one down August 6th. And on August 6th, they took down the 6th installment of the series. I know it sounds crazy, right? I'm connecting too many dots, right? You haven't lived my life. I know who that was a message from. Multiple parties. And that message came right before this. The apocalypse. The latter part of it. The worst part of it. That's when they delivered the 666 to Nikki. Maybe they didn't even know they were doing it. But, you know, there's so many empty, worthless automatons on this planet that are nothing but vessels, naught but vessels for demons. Especially in corporate America. You kind of have to be half a sociopath to rise in corporate America, don't you? Or a whole sociopath, don't you? You know what I'm saying. Let's continue. So 2 days in a row, right after my morning post, messages from YouTube. Yesterday I got an email as well that something has been taken down. I can't figure out what it is. I told you the meme that got taken down yesterday. I have no idea what's going on. So my point is, by telling you all this, I will broadcast as long as I can until the Reich stops me and until the adjudicated criminal Google stops me, because I've been banned pretty much everywhere. So, but that pledge I make to you, as long as I can. I've been here, 10 years after you've seen what they've done. Still here. Anyway, the cowards sent the couch fucker's wife to Greenland, J.D. Vance. They sent his wife to Greenland after the annexation talk for, I don't know what, 2 months now. They were talking about buying Greenland back in the first term. Donnie wasn't fully ready to go, you know, military, all out. So we talk annexation for 2 months, some really tough Hitler-esque talk. Because again, the last two people that talked annexation that I remember, Vlad Putin and Adolf Hitler. Did they attack their neighbors' children after the annexation talk? Class? Every day, all day, they attack their neighbors. So what the fuck you think's gonna happen here, son? Military action, that's what's gonna happen. We've already got it in Somalia and Yemen. And I took a look at the map today, and it just so happens that Yemen's on one side, Somalia's on the other, right at the entrance of the Gulf of Aden. That leads right up to the Suez Canal. Isn't that interesting? So now you know why Somalia got bombed earlier in February. Now you know why Yemen got bombed. And guess where that Gulf of Aden leads right up to as well? Israel. There's going to be a lot of materials coming into Israel for Donnie's new resort, for the third temple, all kinds of stuff. Military action is going to be required to handle that Israel-Palestine situation. Clear out the Gazans, build the resort, build the temple, etc. There will be military U.S. ships and troops involved in that. Don't worry. So that Gulf of Aden leads all the way up to all that. But I'll get to that. Let's get back to Usha Vance here. And remember the other day, JD was doing a press conference. He had his wife standing behind him, like to the right or something, doing her best good wife pose. And JD apologized to the crowd for her not being white. Said, oh yeah, this is my wife. She's not white, but... Why would anyone feel the need to say that? Whatever color or ethnicity their wife is, why the fuck would you need to say that to a crowd of people? I watched the video. I don't remember if I presented it to you people or not. She's standing right there, man. And he says on camera in front of a group of people, it's my wife. She's not white, but why would you do that unless you're apologizing to a base of people that would hold that against you? That's the only reason to do that. And only the most cowardly of cowards would do that to their wife while she's standing right there. Or at all. No need for that statement. Unless you're addressing certain biases in certain people. And you're apologizing for that. So the cowards sent her, after all the annexation talk, to Greenland on a little tour. How do you expect the Greenlanders to feel about that after all the annexation talk? Do you think they should welcome Usha Vance? I'm surprised they even let the planes land. If I was in charge of Greenland or Denmark, whoever calls the shots, I would have told Donnie's people to fuck off. Your planes ain't even allowed to land. Sorry, turn around. What the fuck you doing here? That's how I'd handle it. But that's me. So let's read about this. Greenland's Prime Minister, I'm going to butcher this name, Mute B. Egede, criticized the upcoming visit of Second Lady Usha Vance and White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz to the island, calling it very aggressive American pressure, he added. Until recently, this is a quote, until recently we could trust the Americans who were our allies and friends, and with whom we enjoyed working closely, but that time is over. It is over. Yes, consider America the enemy now. Europe, Canada, Greenland, we're on Russia. We're on Russia's side now. Whoever Russia's allies are, what, Iran and other places. We're aligned with them now, and it's obvious, and they're not hiding it, and they're getting madder and madder that it's becoming more and more obvious. So yes, we're the enemy now. You cannot trust America because Donnie shitbags and Leon are running America. They are the two least untrustworthy individuals ever born in the history of mankind. And I hate saying that about my own country. But this ain't America no more. It's over. I told you it was over the second the election was over. Whether it was rigged, wasn't rigged, hacked, wasn't hacked, don't matter. That what matters is they gave him the keys after he tried to steal them last time. Over. Sycophants in every department. Death camps in El Salvador. Dismantling of every government agency. Firing, rehiring, firing, rehiring. Tariffs, not tariffs. Tariffs, not tariffs. Stock manipulation, not stock manipulation. That's what you've been seeing. Threats of annexation and military action, actual military action against two countries that just happen to flank the Gulf of Aden, the entrance to that Gulf that leads to the Suez Canal and leads to Israel. That's where we at. Okay, let's get to the big story, the Hegseth fuck up. I'm sure everyone's heard about it. Hegseth denied it, and it was very cringe. He showed up in Hawaii, I believe. That's really nice he gets to go to Hawaii. I'm glad Petey gets to do that on taxpayer dime. Thanks, Roops. After he leaks classified information. But I'm glad he did it, because it proves everything I've been saying about what the plan is. Anyway, Petey denied it later on in the day, but we're going to go through the actual process here. At 11:44 a.m., the account labeled Pete Hegseth posted in Signal a team update. This is the reporter talking from The Atlantic. I will not quote from this update or from certain other subsequent texts. The information contained in them, if they had been read by an adversary of the United States, could conceivably have been used to harm American military and intelligence personnel, particularly in the broader Middle East, Central Command's area of responsibility. What I will say, in order to illustrate the shocking recklessness of this signal conversation, is that Hegseth posts contain operational details of forthcoming strikes on Yemen, including information about targets, weapons the U.S. would be deploying, and attack sequencing. And we're going to go more into it. That's just kind of the vague whole story without all the details. Here's the problem. When Petey got in front of the cameras and denied it, this reporter has copies of the fucking messages. That kind of kills the denial story, doesn't it, Petey? And my God, it was embarrassing. But again, we'll get to that. Let's go through the process here. Here's Ron Filipowski on it. The fact that a reporter was inadvertently given access to this in real time shows that Pete Hegseth and the rest of this crew are bumbling incompetents who are going to get a lot of intelligence officials and others killed at some point. They're going to get others killed via military action as well. They already have. And here's again the headline for the story. The Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans. Here's Anonymous with a comment that I thought was very interesting. Also, there's a video clip on a TikTok clip. And my God, I despise TikTok. The grainy ass footage, the shitty videos where everyone's face is like right in the camera like this, and you got the shit above it, and it's all like fucking jumping the fuck around. And motherfuckers are like pointing the fucking shit. It's such a crap Chinese spy app. I mean, it's just fucking garbage. I guess all the code and all the memory space went to the surveillance shit and the recording of like all your kids' information and shit. So there wasn't enough code or space on the app left to make some decent high quality footage and some, unhorrible, not shitty, tinny sound. But I digress. A young girl was with her mother at a CVS to get her diabetes medication. And she was told now it's going to cost $2,000. Remember, Biden significantly, and Congress at the time, significantly reduced the cost of insulin, which a lot of people need. That was a very good thing they did in a country that really needed that. That needed a fucking break on something from these greedy-ass pharmaceutical companies. So now Donnie's reversed that. So this little girl's crying because her mother basically said, well, I can't get my meds and I'm just going to have to go without them. We can't afford $2,000. That's what Anonymous is commenting on here, and they're spot on. Get it through your heads that Trump and Musk's goal is to kill as many Americans as possible, especially those with disabilities, medical conditions, and other things that he and his regime consider defective. Cruelty isn't the point. Your death is. This is a eugenics operation. Yep. I know it sounds like Alex Jones. Anonymous is sounding like Alex Jones. But here's the difference. Anonymous aren't fucking abject snake oil salesmen and liars. Alex Jones is. Anonymous didn't get hit with a $1 billion defamation judgment. Alex Jones did. That's the difference. What they're stating is actual reality. Yes, you have a Nazi in charge, Leon Scum. He did the salute right in front of your fucking face, remember? What do you think Nazis believe? I explained what they believe. Eugenics. The sick, the elderly, the disabled, the mentally, incapable. They look at them as trash. That's the Nazi ideology. In fact, if we want to be real honest, the Nazi ideology is anyone who's not white, pure Aryan might as well get gassed. That's Nazi ideology. And it ain't a fucking game to me, although Google wants to play games with it. The media wants to play games with it. The rest of you out in society want to play fucking games with it and give this cunt a pass. I'll never give him a pass because I know exactly what he is. And that's why they shut my ass down. So yes, it's a eugenics operation. Donnie's a Nazi. Leon's a Nazi. Hegseth is a Nazi. Miller's a Nazi. Alex Jones is a Nazi, white supremacist, white nationalist. Mike Cernovich. Hegseth, if I forgot him. Then you've got the non-white Nazis that are all involved in this as well, with all different positions. This isn't a joke, people. You're being dismantled and looted by Satan-worshipping Nazis. I know it's pathetic, right? It's not a very original story, is it? That's because all these cunts aren't very original. I wonder if they even have a soul. At all. Because every day when I see them on camera in their utter contrived existence, by the way, everything's so calculated and planned and schemed, and they think they're fooling people. No, they just scare in certain people to fall in line and do their bidding. But they ain't fooling anyone. We know exactly what this is. We've seen it before in history, every single one of us. And yes, eugenics is part of it. Why do you think RFK is in charge of health in this country? The guy that thinks it's a good idea to have re-education camps for drug addicts. Meanwhile, he's been a drug addict his whole fucking life. I bet his fat ass won't go to the camp, though, will he? That's for other people that aren't named Kennedy, right? Brainworm fucking cunt. Fucking sound like the fucking crypt keeper when you talk. Whatever gack you put in your system, man, it got your throat all fucked up. Fucking cunt. So yeah, eugenics, RFK Jr. Look at the guy. Look what he's talking about. And again, I want you to remember this one thing. I neglect to say this, and this should be said. Anytime there's a vaccine discussion, anytime there's a health discussion in this country, every single one of those cunts in government, congressmen on up, every single one got the COVID shot. So all your cunt heroes in Congress that are anti-vax and no COVID shot, blah, they all took the shot, son. Every single one. Even Margie Sporkfoot. Because they were scared shitless they're going to die. They got shit to lose. Margie trying to be Nazi queen or Nazi princess. Caveman version. Oh, damn right she took the shot, son. And Donnie was first in line to take the shot, by the way. Those high-up people, presidents, senators, etc., they were first in line. I don't care what they were saying in the town hall in Nebraska, you fucking rubes. They all took the shot. Every single one. There goes your anti-vax RFK Jr. bullshit. I guarantee he took the fucking shot too. His name's Kennedy. Of course he fucking took the shot, you fucking idiots. So yes, you're being eugenicized right now. The people that are poor can't afford shit, good, they die. Because Nazis think that's cool. And they serve Satan, whether they know it or not. I know the top two know it. For sure, I know they know it. But that's all you, all you people have ever done in your little clubs, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter the names, Freemason, this, that. Why don't you just all be men and just say what you worship in? Why's it got to be a big secret? You don't hear people that worship Jesus keeping it secret. They say, I worship Jesus. I believe in Jesus. Funny how none of you people are ballsy enough to say his name. Who you worship. Got to hide it, play games with it, make it pseudo-Christianity. Meanwhile, you're putting obelisks and pyramids and eyes all over every fucking thing. Not too obvious, guys. Not very creative either. Whatever group it is, again, I'm just, I don't want to single, the FMs out. I just know that's one of the biggest ones. You guys are getting bold with your shit, though. You even had Bob De Niro spanking who? Channing Tatum in a movie, saying he's a 33rd degree Mason, showing a little bit of the rituals and shit, what they do to younger men to get them to fall in line and not get uppity. Surprised to see that scene in a movie. Ballsy of you guys. But I've noticed that over the years, this past 20 years, 30 years especially, more and more open with it. I'm starting to hear the phrase in several movies, I renounce God and the Trinity and stuff like that. You guys are getting real ballsy with it. And again, I don't paint all of Hollywood in this brush like the conspiracy people do. I know who you are that are doing it and what you're doing. But I love movies. Just not those movies, because I know what those movies are designed to do. The specific ones. I was just kind of making the point that certain individuals, certain entities are putting it more in our face, and that all the different clubs, no matter what realm they're in, politics or this or that, and I don't paint them all with one brush, like so many of you do. I know who's, it's kind of obvious who's in the groups and who's not, who was born into certain families and who wasn't. Not all of you are in, I don't paint you all with the same brush. Not every politician's a Freemason. It's not how the world works, son. Not every single person in Hollywood is a Satanist. That's not how it works, son. It's just entrenched in certain things. And the young people that come in, they have no fucking clue what's going on. Until it's too late. My point is they're getting a little more ballsy with it and in our face with it. And I've noticed. Anyway, Darth Putin. And remember, Darth Putin knows all and sees all. Never wrong. Impossible. And what Darth Putin is saying right here, if they're accidentally sharing secrets with journalists, imagine what Team Trump are deliberately sharing with me. That's scary. There's also rumors going around that one of the gentlemen on the call or on the text exchange happened to be in Russia at the moment when that conversation was going on. I believe his name is Witkoff. Do you get where I'm going with this? I believe one of the people, according to a timeline that I've seen, was in Russia while that Signal app discussion was going on. That hasn't been verified yet. I'm just saying what I'm hearing. Maybe it'll be verified in the near future. And if that turns out to be bullshit, I'll tell you it was bullshit. All right, this is one of the messages. This is J.D. Vance to Pete Hegseth. If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. So there we go We've done the annexation talk with Canada, Greenland. We've alienated all of Europe and shown we are on Russia's side. And by we, I mean Donnie and Leon, and our government. Tariffs against European countries, all this kind of tough talk, shit talking by Donnie and Leon about Europe and Ukraine, and Europe needs to do this and needs to do that. They need to put more money up and more weapons, even though they've given more money and weapons than the United States has to Ukraine. So after all that, the annexation, all the ill will, all our allies fucking despise us, especially Europe, especially Canada. What do we got here? We got literal text messages between the couch fucker J.D. Vance and rapey Hegseth talking more shit on Europe. You know, behind closed doors shit. You know, the good shit that Europe really wants to hear. You know, the people that want to hear the real scoop. We all really want to hear it, actually. I'm so happy these things leaked out. I'm so happy Hegseth is a fucking idiot, an incompetent fucking fool. Praise Jesus for that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this. If he was actually qualified and capable and knew what the fuck he was doing, we would never see this. So praise Jesus for this shit, man. So remember the context. Europe already fucking despises us, and so does Canada. And we got the couch fucker and rapey Hegseth going back and forth saying how they hate bailing out Europe again. And here's JD some more. Let's just make sure our messaging is tight here. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. So JD is looking out for the Saudis. Well, the Saudis gave Jared $2 billion. They give Donnie money. That's, you know, there's a good kind of grift going with the Saudis and the Trump family. So I understand why they're looking out for the Saudis. And of course, the Saudis have oil. So we have, what do we have here? We have JD, the couch fucker, and rapey Hegseth. Straight shit talking Europe on top of everything else we've seen in the past 2 months, which is basically all of our allies hate us now. And that happened within a month and a half. That's how divisive the beast and the false prophet are. Leon and Donnie. So again, we've got JD and Pete straight shit talking Europe, showing their nefarious intentions towards Europe, on top of everything else we've seen. And then we've got them going out of their way to protect the Saudis when you reduce this down to its lowest common denominator. And here's the Atlantic itself, the paper or the outlet that the reporter worked for that was included in this chat, because Pete Hegseth is a fucking moron. American war planning usually takes place in highly secure facilities, but the Trump administration planned strikes on the Houthis using a group chat and accidentally included the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg. I didn't know he was the editor-in-chief now. I thought he was just a journalist. Wow. Editor-in-chief, Big Jeff Goldberg got invited in on the conversation, and he saw everything. I'd watch your back there, Jeffy, because they know you saw the whole skilo. And Petey Hegseth look mad as fucking Hawaii. You know what, Jeff? I have to say thank you, and the press that were there in Hawaii when Petey showed up. Ruined his whole trip. I really have to thank you for that, because he's ruining our whole country, and a lot of people are going to die at the hands of this man via his orders. Via Donnie's orders, via Leon's orders. The military's already being used. People have already died because of this man. And Donnie and Leon, and a lot more will in the future. So I'm glad his trip to Hawaii got fucked up by his fuck up. If he wasn't a fuck up, his trip wouldn't have got fucked up. Okay, here's more messages. And this person is pointing out this one sentence, which is, the cherry on top of it all. This is on all caps. I will do all I can do, enforce 100% OPSEC. Excuse me, OPSEC. I will do all I can do, enforce 100% OPSEC. That's a quote. He texted directly to a journalist by mistake. Again, let's read this little clip here. The Hegseth message goes on to state, waiting a few weeks or months does not fundamentally change the calculus. Immediate risks on waiting. This leaks and we look indecisive. That's risk one. Risk two, Israel takes action first, or Gaza's ceasefire falls apart, and we don't get to start this on our own terms. We can manage both. We are prepared to execute. And if I had final go or no-go vote, I believe we should. This is not about the Houthis. This is not about the Houthis. This is not about the Houthis. Again, I told you this when they first bombed the Houthis. I told you this is about the canal and shipping and controlling that. Well, here's Petey or somebody. It looks like Petey. This is not about the Houthis. Exactly what I said to you. It's about shipping. It's about money. It's about commerce. It's about Donnie thinking he's fucking Caesar. Same thing I said about the Panama Canal. Anyone that does major business in this world needs to pay tribute to Donnie. That's how Donnie looks at it. That's why all this is happening. That's why two of the most major canals in the world, one is already being, swept clear by the American military. I assume they'll get to Panama in time, unless they've made arrangements with Panama and they're going to let them do whatever they want. Who knows? All I know is there's a staging area going on down there by Panama as well. Some properties being bought. Some people are staging down there. What did I say at the beginning of this when the Panama Canal was mentioned? I said Donnie thinks he's Caesar of the world, and anyone that does business needs to pay him tribute, just like a mob boss. Again, King of New York, Christopher Walken. If a nickel bag gets sold in Central Park, I want in. That's Donnie. Any business going on, I'm Caesar of the world. You must pay me tribute for the right to exist and do business. I swear to you, that's the mentality. It's obvious by the actions. Donnie's always about this protection racket for Canada, protection racket for Europe, when our troops are not there for Canada and Europe. They're there for the United States. And if Russia starts some shit, that's why they're there. They could give a fuck about Europe. They were never there to protect Europe. They were there in case Russia wanted to start some shit that we'd have quick response. That's all. But Donnie's frames it as a protection racket. Oh, you want our troops here? Pay me. Let's read the rest of this. We can manage both. We're prepared to execute. No go. This is not about the Houthis. I see it as two things. Number one, restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest. No, it's Donnie's interest. Control that canal. You pay me to use it. He sells access. Reestablish deterrence, which Biden cratered. Biden didn't do jack shit. Pete denying even said this. This has nothing to do with Biden. They just know you rubes get all riled up when you hear Biden's name. It's that simple. They know how just elementary you all are. That's why things like that are said in these messages. And I wonder if all this was leaked on purpose, by the way. I'm not sure. But we can easily pause, and if we do, I will do all we can to enforce 100% OPSEC, that's in all caps, operational security. Keeping it quiet, that's what PD means. Operation security, I welcome other thoughts. In other words, it sounds like PD is worried about the pause. He doesn't want there to be a pause because this is PD's big moment. He gets to bomb and play with all the toys. That he's totally unqualified to be in charge of, by the way. Utterly unqualified. And he proved that today in spades. The punchline in this whole thing: we'll do all we can to enforce 100% OPSEC, sir. As he's already literally invited a journalist, editor in fucking chief, into the conversation. Am I convinced? Am I assured by this that PD will always in the future, make 100% OPSEC paramount? No, he's a fucking idiot. Even in the interview, he was giving away details in Hawaii. He got so pissed off. He just kept rambling. Pete and Donnie tend to do that when they're backed into a corner. They just ramble. They give the whole fucking game away. Petey did that in the little interview as he was trying to lie his way out of it and say none of this happened when the reporters got fucking copies. So Petey's on top of OPSEC literally while the reporter's listening in. That they invite. What have you done, Rubes? I know I'm laughing, but it ain't fucking funny, man. It's horrifying, actually. And right now, I'm hearing that one of the parties involved in this conversation was in Russia at the time. Oh, I really don't like that, son. Let's continue. This is a person named SM. As I heard it, the president was clear, green light, but we soon made clear to Egypt and Europe that what we expect in return. Again, I literally just said this. They're going to charge for access to this canal. I said it the other day. So what do you think they want from Egypt and Europe in return? I heard, I'm not sure about this statistic either. I just looked it up quickly. 40% of European trade goes through the Suez. Their shipping trade. That's just a stat I saw quickly today. I haven't verified that stat. But if it wasn't that high, if the Suez was not that important to Europe, why is Europe mentioned right here? Uh-oh, Petey. So here we got something else that Europe can hate our fucking guts for. Extortion. Egypt as well. You're mentioned in here too, Egypt. Did you notice that? Because the Suez runs right through your country. And we've got a plan right here to extort you and Europe for use of the Suez. In black and fucking white. So it seems Petey and Donnie and Leon, they don't just want Greenland. They don't just want Canada. They don't want just territory in Panama. They want territory in Egypt as well. That's what it's looking like to me, or control of it. So now you know what the plan was for the Panama Canal. You're seeing it with this canal. And again, we've got straight up extortion here. Admitted to. That's the plan. We need to soon make it clear to Egypt and Europe what this paving the way by the United States is going to cost you. Thanks, Rubes. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. Well, how else would you enforce that? But with the military, of course, that's how they're going to enforce everything when they try and take Greenland, when they try and take Canada, Panama, maybe Mexico too, to fulfill that map, Central America. Got to use the military. They're already using it. Yemen, Somalia, I told you. The two countries that flank the entrance to the Gulf of Aden. Funny how they're the first ones bombed. Right before this whole let's extort Egypt and Europe plan came about. And again, praise Jesus we saw this. Proves every damn thing I've been saying. Proves it. E.g., if Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. This is why I wonder if this was leaked on purpose, because it sounds like statements are being made that they want out there to condition people and the press to put out there. It almost doesn't sound like a private conversation. It sounds like a few people that knew it was going to be seen by the masses at some point. That's why that part in Hegseth's message about how Biden cratered and let that part of the world, fall to disarray. You don't really need to say that in a private conversation. Then again, everyone's trying to outdo each other and prove how much of a sycophant they are. So maybe that's part of the calculus there. But this bottom part here, if the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return. I'm not even sure who's saying this. SM. And Pete's like, I agree. That's all he says to that. Oh, Stephen Miller. That might be SM. Maybe. Kind of sounds like him, but you're seeing the plan, people. Again, the technocrat map that has Greenland, Canada, America, Mexico, Central America, the top of South America as one empire, one oligarchy. That's part of the plan. Controlling the Panama Canal. They let that cat out of the bag early. And that's still on the, menu. That's still on the agenda. Believe me, they're making that happen. Now they're showing you what they were going to do with the Panama Canal with this canal that this shit is leaked. They're showing you that they're going to extort the world for access. That was the plan with the Panama Canal as well. And boy, SM or Stephen Miller, whoever this is all about this. They just keep kind of saying the same thing over and over. We got to make it clear to Europe and Egypt, you got to pay us. Maybe this is the way they're making it clear, by leaking this. Who knows? And we got to have a way to enforce if they don't want to pay. And we need to show, the world that because of the economic cost of us bombing people in Yemen and Somalia and all along that corridor, you should pay us for the open access now. They're admitting the whole fucking plan here. And it's very nefarious, I must say. But I'm so happy it came out because, it proves every single fucking thing I've been saying. I couldn't believe it. Those messages aren't important. They're just one-worders. All right, let's go back to that original message between JD and Hegseth. Remember, JD says to Pete, if you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's just make... that's JD again, I think. JV. Let's just make sure our messaging is tight here, and if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. Pete, VP, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. That's a lie. Europe has never freeloaded. Okay, again, the troops over there, their ability to protect their ships and get through the Suez and all that, they've never been freeloading, son. We just have a Caesar mobster in charge who wants to extort the world to do business. Europe didn't do anything wrong. Don't ever buy that bullshit. This is just an excuse to use our military. This is just an excuse to extort people. This is just an excuse to be fascism for the globe, not just for America, son. For the globe, for the first time ever. That's what these people are trying to achieve here. You know, that phrase that Alex always uses, or that word, globalism. That's really globalism, son. And you guys are all about borders one day, then you're about annexing everything down to South America the next. You got to make up your minds which false principle, which lie, which fake philosophy you want to run with. We're all about no war for how many years? All of a sudden, it's a good idea to use the military to take Canada, Greenland, all kind of places. Again, son, how would you like your property taken by force? And you have no say in it. Just go on. You had an acre yesterday, you got half an acre today, son. That's what you're advocating for. How fucking dare you? That's what another thing you guys used to call out every day. Communism, just taking shit. The government just taking shit. What if they take your shit? When they take Canada? What if they said tomorrow, hey, I want to take Canada and I want to take Joe Schmo's house right there too. I like that property as well. Fuck him. I got the American military. What's he going to do? That's what you're advocating for. Let's continue. That's Rapey McHegseth. I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. That's in caps. But Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is as good a time as any given POTUS directive to reopen shipping lanes. No. What POTUS directive is open the shipping lanes and get our military there so we can extort everyone to come through. And if Europe doesn't do what they want us to do, or what we want them to do, and just bend over for Vlad like Donnie did, then, we'll just extort the living fuck out of them using the Suez, since 40% of their shipping goes through it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? They want leverage over Europe for Vlad. Because Donnie's Vlad's bitch right now. He's always been. You didn't know? Better ask somebody. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space. In other words, Hegseth is all about this. He's ready to deploy the toys and hit the buttons and give the orders. He sounds all gung-ho about it. But he's saying the president makes the final decision. Again, the whole game is here. Open up the shipping lanes. Pete even admitted it himself. It's not about the Houthis. I literally said all this shit to you people. Now it's been leaked for you right in front of your face. Just like when I said there was a whole bunch of Russian shills on this website and Vlad's buying ads. What happens a few months later? I don't know, about 19 Russian shills get exposed. And most of them are still up on this platform. Isn't that great? America first, right, guys? as you fill your bank account with Russian money. And you know, we're the people that all made you rich. Remember, all you corporate cunts that have businesses in this country. We're the ones that made you rich, you fucking cunts. What did you do? You shipped all the manufacturing overseas. You shipped the call centers overseas. You bring H-1B Indian workers in. You, at the low end, you let foreign workers in and work for your companies. That's how you thanked America for making you filthy fucking rich. Fuck all of you. You're all traitors that took part in this in any way. So it's not about the Houthis, it's about shipping lanes and extorting Egypt and Europe for those shipping lanes and helping Vlad out over in that part of the world. And, you know, we got to get that. Remember, that Gulf of Aden leads right up to Israel on the right, Suez on the left. They're going to need that Gulf to move all those materials and military up to that Gaza area. All you do is you make a right instead of go left to the Suez. And wow, you could bring so much materials and military and all kind of things right to Israel. So man, we got a lot of advantages here. That road to Israel, that Donnie's real goal, get the Gazans out, resort, gold Donnie statues, kingdom, throne set up there, new temple, walks in, says he's God. It's all over for everybody. That's the real goal. Worship, end goal. So that's what opening up that Gulf and that canal is really for: extortion and access to Israel. For all the new materials that are going to be coming into Israel, for the Donnie Resort, the gold statues, the temple, even though they have most of the stuff in the temple right there ready to go. They've had it for decades. They've been salivating, foaming at the mouth to build this temple. They just didn't want to start World War III. I'm glad I said that, because Petey said something. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. No one else is even close. He's talking about the whole military thing in the Yemen area and controlling the Suez and other things in the world. What does he really mean? And what do I mean when I bring this up? The American military, nothing can fuck with it in this world. That's what Petey means. We the only ones that can do this. We the only ones that can do the Israel-Gaza thing. If the American military is there, no one will fuck with it. They'll let them build the temple. They'll let them build the resort. A matter of fact, I don't see the major pro-Palestinian protests against Donnie. I wonder what happened to all that anger and concern for the cause now that there's outright talk of removing all the Gazans from the Gaza Strip. Where are the protests, son? Oh, that's right. You're all aligned with Russia. I forgot. And so's Donnie. So no more protests, right, guys? That's what I thought. Well, enjoy the apocalypse you've ushered in via your actions. Trump on his cabinet members using Signal to text war plans to reporters. So this was when it was first brought to Donnie's attention, allegedly. And I say allegedly because Donnie knew what the fuck was going on. It's the same thing with the Rubio shit he just did the fucking other day. When they said, hey, you know about that executive order? What's up with that? You know, sending people to fucking El Salvador or whatever. Donnie's like, what the fuck are you talking? I didn't even sign nothing like that. That Marco Rubio guy, he wanted those brown skins gone. And, you know, we did it because of him. I don't even remember signing the shit. Here we have another situation exactly like that, where Donnie is the 3-year-old caught with his hand in the fucking cookie jar, and grandma says, why'd you have your hand in the cookie jar? What are you talking about? I don't have my hand in the cookie. What do you mean? Whose hand was in the cookie jar? That's Donnie right now. Trump on his cabinet members using Signal to text war plans to a reporter. So here's Donnie's original answer, his go-to when he thinks he's really in some hot water. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what? That's how a mobster denies things. So he's throwing them all under the bus, which Donnie always does. He just did it to little Marco the other day. And what does he do right off the bat? He hates The Atlantic. He's talking shit on the paper. He says they're going to go out of business, but he keeps in between these ridiculous statements saying, I don't know nothing about it. What happened today? If you believe Donnie didn't know that Hegseth leaked all that bullshit before he walked up to this podium, again, I got some great beachfront property in Kansas to sell you for the low price of $1 million an acre, minimum 15 acres. That's the Candace Owens rule. Remember, Candace Owen video chat, what was it, $1,500 a minute, 15-minute minimum. But Candace's channel is up on this website. If I put a fucking PayPal up and I make $40 a month, they want to shut me down. These fucking cunts. But Candace, $1,500 a minute for a video chat, 15-minute, no problem, because that's totally legit. So Donnie pretended he knew nothing about it. Petey just flat out fucking denied it later. It's so embarrassing. And it's so pathetic to watch men that are not good liars just lie. They do not do it well at all. So again, you're saying they had what? What are you talking about? Oh, here's a shot of the cabinet meeting. Of course, Elon's sitting there with the ridiculous oversized MAGA hat. And then he had to get an extra large one in the front because he wrote so many words on it. And what he wrote on it was Trump was right about everything. Big, ugly red MAGA hat. Can you imagine in the cabinet meeting and this douche, this fat, obese, greasy South African, pasty as a motherfucker, with a 10-gallon MAGA hat that says Trump was right about everything, right on the front. Can you imagine sitting there and not laughing your fucking ass off and being like, what is this douchebag, this false prophet beast scumbag doing in the fucking room with the oversized 10-gallon MAGA hat on? And why do MAGA people always dress like clowns? I keep waiting for you all to show up with the red nose. When's Leon going to show up with the red nose to go with the clown outfit? I mean, what's next? Is Leon going to start painting his face orange too? Is that coming next? To go along with all the custom-tailored MAGA hats? The front of the hat was just so ridiculous. The hat like dwarfed his fucking head. Oh my God. So off in the distance, Leon's complaining about death threats against him right at the end of the cabinet meeting, and I guess the camera picked it up. Because, you know, anytime a camera's around, Leon needs to build the false narrative and build the sympathy, you know, that he's so in danger, that he's getting death threats all the time. The only death threats I hear are coming from the federal government right now. When you cut military aid, U.S. aid, assistance programs, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all that, when you increase the cost of insulin to $2,000, people die. But that's the point. That's what they want to do. Like Anonymous said, eugenics. They want people to die. They don't care about you. That's the end goal, doesn't involve you, son. Sorry. It only involves them. So Leon, again, using his moment in front of the cameras to create this false narrative, to continue this false narrative as if he's the one in danger. No, we're the ones in danger. We have a Nazi regime that took over the United States. They're dismantling and looting the place. People have already died. People have already lost their jobs. En masse. People have been bombed in pursuit of an extortion racket involving the Suez Canal. So the only death threats I keep hearing are from the government, because they know exactly what they're doing when they cut all these things and they dismantle and loot the country. They know people are going to die, and that's the point. And when they use the military, people are going to die, and they will use the military. Don't worry. My point is here, people, we're in danger, not Leon. We're in grave fucking danger. They ain't hiding what they want to do. Not at all. Leon's not in danger till after he takes his last breath here. Because right after that, he's going right in the lake. And that's the lake of fire. Look it up. And if you don't know, ask somebody. That's not here in this realm. It's in another realm. That's where Leon's going. So he's fine until then. It's us that aren't fine until then. A lot of us are going to die. What country now controls the Suez Canal? Well, that's Egypt. Egypt has control. It's a state-owned Suez Canal Authority, SCA of Egypt. I just wanted you to know that. Oh, here's Tim Waltz. You know where Doge should take a closer look? Trump's cabinet. None of the 83,000 caregivers Trump fired from the VA leaked classified information. In other words, those people they called fraud, waste, and abuse and fired, they weren't the fraud, waste, and abuse. They weren't the threat to us. They were doing their jobs. Guess who ain't doing their fucking job? PD cunt Hegseth. He's giving classified secrets away. And we're not done with that. Wait till you hear what the guy said. I have a quote from him. This is Greenland. They had a demonstration against the second lady of the United States. It was in Sisamiut. The demonstration set to take place on Saturday, organized by a group of local citizens. A peaceful, quiet town, Sisamiut, will soon be filled with residents dissatisfied with the upcoming U.S. visit. A group of citizens in Sisamiut told Sermitsiak that they are in the process of planning a silent demonstration on Saturday. According to Per Norgard, the intention is to send a clear message without shouting or loud protests. We will turn our backs when they drive by. This is our way of showing that we do not agree with their presence and approach. So we encourage as many people as possible to join and show their opposition. And that's great. I'm surprised they even let the planes land, and the whole world should turn their back on the Reich. If only we all had turned our backs on these people that made this happen. Maybe they would have gotten the message and they wouldn't have done this. But we didn't. We played along, we allowed their sociopathy, and now it's too late. Now they're going to burn it all down. I promise you. So every country should turn their back on the Reich. It's the only way to slow this down or possibly stop it. If every country tomorrow said, I'm not doing business with the United States, you know, every real country, I'm not talking about Saudi Arabia or Russia or China, they would sell out their grandmother. They would sell out their own son or daughter into slavery for $5, the people that run those places. That's all they care about. That's all they ever cared about, was wealth. Anyway, let's move on. Trump on his cabinet members using Signal to text war plans to a reporter. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I know nothing about it. So the Lincoln Project is asking, if you hate The Atlantic, then why is your Secretary of Defense texting them top secret war plans? Indeed, if you hate them so much, why are they involved in group chats during classified conversations? Of course, again, Donnie went right to kill the messenger, not the incompetent, Nazi, drunk, rapey, unqualified asshole that he hired because he was had the right color skin, one, and he was an utter sycophant, two. Don't blame him. Don't shit talk him, the guy that leaked it all. Shit talk the journalists that got invited into the conversation. Thanks, Rubes. That's what you're down with, what I just described to you. President Trump on Elon Musk. This is during the cabinet meeting as well, when Leon had the ridiculous, huge red hat on. He's a patriot. Elon has never asked me for a thing. Yeah, that's why Leon got like 43 billion in contracts in the first month, right? Because Leon doesn't ask for anything. That's why SpaceX is utterly subsidized. That's why Tesla is utterly fucking subsidized. In other words, Leon gets welfare for SpaceX. Leon gets welfare for Tesla. Leon gets welfare in general. No greater leech has there ever been on the American taxpayer than Leon Scum. There's never been one, son. I don't care how many single mothers you gather up with the little bitch ass, I don't know, 1,000 a month they getting. Leon gets 43 billion of your money for contracts. Almost got 400 billion. But the pushback was a little too great. Don't worry, he'll get the contract in the future. Don't worry. Once they got, the fascism thing going a little stronger, more strongly. So Leon, in my opinion, when you say Leon's never asked him or the federal government for a thing, Leon's the greatest leech on the American taxpayer I've ever seen in my life. No one even comes close. He talks about the money we give to Ukraine. Add up all the fucking billions we gave that fat cunt over the decades. He has the nerve to complain about Ukraine, where that money's going. To people that are dying, being raped, tortured, murdered, robbed, occupied. Well, all the welfare we gave Leon, though, that was fine. We just can't give our allies in Ukraine that we made a deal with, literally told them we have your back if you get rid of your nukes. And they trusted us. Look how we're thanking them now. Look how Leon and Donnie shitbags are thanking him. And again, I want you to remember from last night when I talked about Putin thinks so little of us and Donnie and Leon that in front of cameras, he staged a little back and forth where Putin's aide from the audience was trying to get Putin's attention and let him know a meeting had to take place with Donnie shitbags on the phone. And when the announcer of the little interview said to Putin, hey, Putin, your aide is trying to get you to go off on a meeting, Putin laughed and, they'll wait. Fuck them. Again, that's the level of bitches some of you people are still defending. Donnie and Leon, utterly owned by Vlad, and he made a fool of both of them yesterday, or whatever day it was, when he pulled that little PR stunt. And that was the intention of it, to belittle Donnie and Leon and make them look like the bitches they are, the Russian-owned bitches they are. Vlad's letting you know now. That's why the Krasnov stuff leaked. Vlad's like, let them know. It's too late now. I got their country. Let them know I own that fucking cunt since the 80s. And boy, did he let us know. And Donnie didn't even mention that Krasnov stuff. That tells me how scared of it he is. White House inner circle discussed secret military plans and extraordinary breach. This is the New York Times, and this came out at 4:30 after all the hoopla. I guess the New York Times wanted to cross the T's and dot the I's and all that shit. But Maggie just got put on notice. So I noticed this later on in the day, and I'm like, damn, Maggie better watch her step. The New York Times, he might lock everybody to fuck up. He was calling her Maggot Hagerman the other day. Just letting them know, calling them the enemy of the people. And then they put this headline out at 4:30 p.m. Oof. Maggie's pushing it. The New York Times is pushing it. I don't know if Maggie wrote that one, but Donnie mentioned Maggie specifically. This is a public service announcement from the FBI in regards to Tesla vandalism. Keep an eye out, information about it, blah, blah, blah. What do I see when I look at this? The FBI is now Leon's personal police force, where they're putting messages out specifically for him and his companies. So your tax money is now paying for that as well. So the FBI can be Leon's personal police force. How many companies get the treatment like that from the FBI? Not too many, right? Nah. But it's Leon, the false prophet. He gets special treatment from Bongino and Patel. He gets them to be his own personal police force. And here's Pete Hegseth. I don't always include reporters in unsecure war plan group chats, but when I do, it's because I'm incompetent and drunk. Isn't it beautiful? Every picture of Hegseth, just put a glass of scotch right next. He looks like a Scotch man to me. How about you? I'm thinking Scotch. I could see him drinking that. The world's going to end because half of America is so racist they voted to give the nuclear codes to the 3 dumbest people on the planet rather than vote for a black woman. Yes, that's what you did. And I know why you did it, and so does this person. They could have put the devil up in front of you. In fact, they did. They put the beast up in front of you. The literal beast, man. That's how deep the brain rot goes with you people. And so many of you say you're Christians too. You put the beast in power twice. It's not funny. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. I don't even know what. Oh my God, you people are so lost and brainwashed. You don't know if you coming or going. Because when I make the analogy or the metaphor, whatever the fuck you want to call it, That if the devil was put in front of you, well, you got the next best thing. You got the devil's anointed. The one person in the story that everyone was looking for over 1,000 years. When's this person coming? Who are they? Blah, blah, fucking blah. They come along. They show you abomination after abomination. And you argue in favor and vote for the apocalypse and the beast. I can't even believe it's happening. I can't believe I'm saying it out loud. I can't believe you Roops have done it. It's astounding how fucking lost you are. Anyone out there still defending the Nazi salute guy or the convicted felon, you just lost, son. There's nothing redeeming about any of them. I can debunk any talking point. There's nothing except division, chaos, war, and worship, and abominations every day, all day. Over 1,200 days of them you're going to get. It's just incredible. All across the heartland, the Jesus land, the Bible Belt, most of the church, or people that allege they're the church. You've all done this. The irony of it. And again, what you've taught me is that in Revelation, when it says the church, the elect will be deceived, that should be in quotes. They're not the elect. They just say they are. That's why they're capable of the deception, or they're receptive to the deception. Do you get how that works? Anyway, here's Ron Filipowski making an excellent point. Everyone in Greenland really wants Usha to come. Putin wants peace. ICE didn't know about the court order. Musk isn't in charge of Doge. That's Trump's real hair. Hegseth didn't text war plans. Yeah, that's the reality they're going to force down our throats, whether it's true or not. Just like the reality Google, the adjudicated criminal Google, is trying to force down my throat and your throat by saying, when I put a meme up of a Nazi who did a literal Nazi salute, that's hate speech. That's where this is going. When I debunk Pizzagate, that's hate speech. That's where we are, where the inverse of reality is true. That's also part of the story. They will call good evil and evil good. Nation against nation, which is really ethnos against ethnos, which means ethnicity against ethnicity. That's in the story as well. Boy, isn't racism a really central part of all this? Oh my God, is it? It's a Nazi movement. It's a white nationalist movement. Ethnos against ethnos. That's happening right before our eyes. But that's just the doorway to get the rest of us in the camps, the dissidents, the people they don't like, journalists, judges, shit like that. Oh, we'll get there, don't worry. They soften us up for it every day. Throwing more and more people in the group. Anyway, the Trump admin has invoked the state secrets privilege to refuse Judge Boasberg's questions about whether officials flouted his order blocking deportations under the Alien Enemies Act. It is a major escalation given DOJ did not previously even claim it was classified. So what does this tell me? If they're refusing to show the stuff to the judge or answer the questions the judge has for them, that tells me they're guilty. Right off the bat. They're pulling this move, they got something to hide and they're guilty. Obvious. Here's a quote from Judge Patricia Millett. Y'all could have picked me up on Saturday and thrown me on a plane thinking I'm a member of Tren de Aragua and given me no chance to protest it. Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act than has happened here. Talking about the people that got shipped to El Salvador with zero due process. We have no idea who they are, if they're guilty, not guilty, gang members, not gang members. They just need big numbers. The rubes are getting testy. Biden deported more people than Donnie. Because it's all theater. They don't really want to get rid of every Mexican illegal. Donnie needs them to work in his businesses. It's theater. But they got to round up and harass enough people, the right kind of people, gay people, brown skin, Canadians, Germans that look a little, maybe gay. Lock them up for a few weeks. So the private prison, the private detention facility can charge the government for a 2-week stay. Why do you think they hold you? Why do you think they make you jump through hoops and they transfer you 9 times? They need your stay to be, more than a day, more than 3 hours. They only get to charge the government for 1 day when they do that. They need you in there for a week or 2 while your family's worried sick. Hopefully you don't die in there from stress or whatever, or get shanked. It's a business, and the more people they do it to, the more money they make. That's why the process is so drawn out. That's why they don't just let you show your ID in 5 seconds. No, they want you on the bus. They want you in the facility 3-4 days a week, 2 weeks. They charge the government for that. It's a racket. It's a business. Also, now there's a, Nazi agenda involved with it. But the judge is saying, again, this country was kind of founded on that principle that you get due process and you don't even have to be a citizen. You get due process. No one can just come grab you, put you on a fucking plane to El Salvador. Again, that's what you people are cheering on. And everybody cheers that kind of fucking bullshit on until they the motherfucker on the plane. Then it ain't so cute no more. Then it ain't just a talking point that I can yell at somebody and prove I'm a cunt. Then it becomes, oh shit, I'm going to El Salvador. I don't know the language. I'm not from there. I'll probably get killed in 5 minutes. That's what people are facing as you joke about it, as you debate it, as you use it as a talking point in your worthless fucking political discussions that are all over with, by the way. This is the apocalypse. You don't have much time left. If you got 10 years, I'd be surprised. I'm thinking you got about 4, 3.5. That's my assessment. And the way shit coming at me, I'm thinking I'm right. Otherwise, it wouldn't be coming at me. I wouldn't be a threat. There'd be no reason to. Do you get how that works? Goldberg, the Atlantic employee that got this information, got invited in on the chat. Goldberg says the information Hegseth disclosed in the Signal chat was so detailed that it included a list of human targets to be killed in the attack. Now, when you watch the short clip, he breaks it all down. There were names, there were weather forecasts, there were territories to be bombed. I mean, this guy saw every fucking detail, the whole plan. I would love to know the rest of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know it already. Take over the world. That's what the Antichrist does. And desires worship and will eventually want worship. But again, I mean, this guy saw actual names of people they want to take out. He saw the whole entire plan. This guy, he's real dangerous now. He could write a book in 5 years. He could have copied every single message and, hid it somewhere just for safekeeping in case some people want to start some shit. Because he knows everything now. He's been read in. That makes him real fucking dangerous. I love the guy, though. All right, let's read this. 2 days later, Thursday at 4:28 p.m., I received a notice that I was to be included in a Signal chat group. It was called the Houthi PC Small Group. A message to the group from Michael Waltz read as follows. Team, establishing principles for a group for coordination on Houthis, particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy, Alex Wong, is pulling together a Tiger team at Deputy's Agency Chief of Staff level following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items, and will be sending that out later this evening. So there's another piece of the story. Not a very interesting piece, but whatever. The principals had apparently assembled. In all, 18 individuals were listed as members of this group, including various National Security Council officials, Steve Witkoff, President Trump's Middle East and Ukraine negotiator Susie Wiles, the White House Chief of Staff, and someone identified only as SM, which I took to stand for Stephen Miller. I appeared on my own screen only as JG. That's the reporter talking. They're going to be the death of all of us, man. I hope some of us live through it. They're going to start World War III. It's just so blatantly fucking obvious with the annexation talk, and they're not letting it go. And it's so blatantly fucking obvious that Donnie's the Antichrist and Leon is the false prophet. It's so blatantly obvious that all of this is going to some crazy, dystopian, fucking utter nightmare where millions are going to die. I mean, it's every indicator is there. I'm sorry. I wish it wasn't. But again, they're not hiding the agenda here. Again, Leon gave the game away when he did the Nazi salute. Kind of lets you all know what this movement is, huh? I didn't see Donnie out there condemning the Nazi salute. Did you, son? Oh, no. They don't even talk about it. No, they're too busy threatening 20-year jail sentences for anyone that vandalizes a Tesla, and then shipping you off to, El Salvador. Not condemning Nazi salutes. Why would they do that? It's a Nazi movement. And Donnie's quite down. Always been down. So this Witkoff person, this is a person called Olga Lautman. So I put a quick timeline on the insane Signal classified chat, and sure enough, it looks like Kremlin asset Witkoff was in Moscow when he was added to the Houthi chat. I checked Russian media, and he left on 3:14 Friday morning, Moscow time. Meanwhile, the chat was set up Thursday. All right, I read you that part already. Let's move to this. And this is the last thing, finally. This is just a doctor I ran across, and it just shows the state of this greatest nation on earth that we live in. And it's been like this since I've been alive. And it's only gotten worse over time. The healthcare system in this country, where we profit off of the sick and dying, we've made an industry of you dying or you feeling terrible. A very expensive industry, by the way. So this doctor, this kind of sums the whole thing up. And the reason we have this system, by the way, it's back during the Nixon era. Scumbag cunt-face Nixon decided, and his people, let's tie healthcare to employment to make better slaves. And that's why you have the healthcare tied to employment system we have today. Thanks scumbag, lion ass, crooked ass, Richard Nixon and his people. Anyway, so this is a doctor. I'm not even going to say their name. United Healthcare just denied a claim on one of my patients in the ICU with a brain hemorrhage, in a coma, on a ventilator, in heart failure, because I haven't proven to them that caring for her in the hospital was medically necessary. So yeah, this person had both feet in the grave, basically, and really needed some procedures done. The doctor tries to get the insurance company to okay it. Hey, I'm looking at the guy, brain hemorrhage, coma, ventilator, heart failure. So I would say he needs to be in the hospital. It needs to be treated here. We can't send him home. Insurance company, nah. Because what does it come down to for an insurance company? They have to turn down a certain amount of claims. It doesn't matter how many claims come in. They cannot pay them all off. There are a percentage they will turn down. They have to. That's why shit like this happens. We're not the greatest country on earth. We never were. We've done some good things. We've done a lot of bad things. Our healthcare system was designed literally to enslave us and bankrupt us. And it does every day. As we talk shit about Canada's healthcare, Britain's healthcare, like good little fucking idiot rubes. Because let me tell you something. I know what everyone's going to say. In Canada and Britain, they would have had to wait for this procedure. Well, here in America, they're never getting that procedure. Do you hear me? So when it's a choice between waiting or never fucking ever getting it, I'll take the waiting. And I'll also take what Canada and Britain has and other places, where if I get cancer tomorrow, I don't lose my house and everything I've worked for 50 years. Because I got old and got cancer. And now, I don't know, over a 5-year hardcore cancer stint, what could it cost you if you got all the latest procedures, all the best things done? I don't know, 100 million? Let's take a 1-year bout with cancer, minor. I don't know, what's it going to cost you? 80,000? 100,000? Easy? Because insurance companies don't even want to cover hospital stays. Now that it's the end of our country, I guess it doesn't really matter. Now that it's the end of the world, and again, that doesn't mean the world's going to explode. That's not how it works. I guess none of this matters anymore, but it's a shame for the little duration we had, couple hundred years. We couldn't come up with a better system than robbing people blind and making an industry of misery, illness, and death. Very Christ-like, right? American Christians. But that's just the way it is. That's what you all say, right? Instead of everyone being on the same page and saying, no, we want free healthcare. Fuck this bullshit. I don't want to lose my house, everything I've worked for, because I get cancer when I'm 52. Or my kid gets cancer. Or my wife gets cancer. Or whatever. I don't want to live in that society. I don't want our society to be like that. Such a shame that so many of you are such rubes that you couldn't even begin to make that argument. You just spout the GOP talking points that have been going on since Reagan, when he was a younger man doing record recordings of the dangers of free health care. Yeah, I don't really buy when people say how great Reagan is. I'm not really down with that. Again, the only thing I respect from Ronald Reagan and the CIA of that time is how they brought down Russia. But Russia won the long game. Our country's over. They own it now. They own Donnie. They own Leon. It's over. We gave them the keys. Excuse me. You gave them the keys by voting these cunts in. But it's just a shame. While we had our run, we couldn't do better than this. This doctor shouldn't even have to talk to an insurance company, nor should his people. The richest nation on earth, right? We always boasted that. The most successful, richest. We got the Colosseums. We got the yachts. We got the fancy race cars on the roads that don't belong there. And this is the best we can do. Where a doctor's got to deal with an insurance company for a dying patient and get told, you didn't really prove he had to be in the hospital. Can't this be an outpatient thing? We're not covering that. Fuck them, let them die. That decision made by a greedy scumbag, not a doctor. That's the society we've lived in for my entire life. Disgusting. Not very Christ-like either, right? Every single Christian that's going to be out there saying, oh, socialized medicine's evil. Because that, you've heard it somewhere and you're just a parrot. You're not able to see past that. You're being fucked. You'll see evil when you get cancer and you watch your life savings get depleted in a fucking year. And you lose everything. That's evil, son. Socialized medicine ain't evil. You are. By arguing against it. Yeah, I don't think Christ would have been too down with medical insurance companies. I think Christ would have been more down, or was more down with free healthcare. But, here in America, we got GOP Jesus, and that's why we've got GOP apocalypse. Because Jesus got converted to a capitalist who hates immigrants, would never help anybody. Because that'd be socialism. Would never heal someone for free. He'd charge them $9,000. Would never give someone a meal because they're a bum and should go get a job. And, Jesus would be all about guns and stuff like that, right? That's what you people believe as well? God, guns, and country or something like that. Isn't that what you say? Any person that lends any or gives any credence to the saying God, guns, and country, or puts that forth as their motto, you've never met God, son. You have no idea. You're just faking the funk. Otherwise, that phrase would never pass through your lips in any serious way. God, guns, and country. You lost. Hopefully one day you'll be found. Anyway, until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.